Google's featured snippets have long been the dream for anyone chasing search traffic online. But lately, my obsession has shifted to a different kind of content gold. I am talking about turning one single, long interview or tutorial into a whole pipeline of short, viral clips. These short clips are the key to actually bringing viewers back to that original, long-form piece. If you want steady growth from platforms like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels, getting those short-form hits is crucial. This consistent stream of short content drives impressions, clicks, and real audience growth. In this clip, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I used Vizard, the AI tool, to score a bunch of high-performing shorts. I managed to get all this done in just 5 days after publishing a single long video. This whole idea started because someone asked me a very fair question about retaining my voice. The question was, how do you turn one podcast episode into dozens of clips without sounding like a robot? A lot of creators either hire an expensive editor or wrestle with tools that take forever to learn. Or they use those cookie-cutter auto clippers that consistently spit out bland, unusable stuff. So I ran a direct experiment comparing a few popular options head-to-head. I tested manual editing, other well-known auto-edit tools, and finally, Vizard. I wanted to see which gave me the most traction the fastest while still keeping my authentic voice. Spoiler alert, the results varied wildly every single time I ran the test. Different tools picked completely different highlight clips from the source material. They suggested different intros, and honestly, some auto-generated captions were hilariously inaccurate. However, there were definitely clear ranges of performance across the board. Some tools sacrificed context just to give you incredible speed. Others gave you pinpoint control, but ultimately slowed your entire publishing process down to a crawl. Vizard landed perfectly in that sweet spot for me across all 3 metrics. It was fast, the clip selections felt smart, and the scheduling workflow let me push content consistently. I didn't have to babysit every single post throughout the week. So now I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did it, step by step. The very first step was simply uploading the complete long-form video into the Vizard platform. You want to be picky here. Good audio quality and decent lighting make a massive difference on the output. Once the initial scan was complete, Vizard presented a big stack of suggested highlight clips. These suggestions were thoughtfully prioritized based on their likely potential for virality. I flipped on the auto-edit mode to pull the main highlights automatically. But crucially, I also used the review mode to check that the AI picks perfectly matched my established tone. Second, I dove into the clip outline feature for better structure. Think of this process like structuring a great article. You need a clear hook, a punchy middle, and a strong call to action. Vizard's initial picks often gave me these key moments, which I could then reorganize into a short, cohesive narrative. I personally tweaked a few intros, trimmed down awkward pauses, and added quick, stylized captions. Seriously, do not skip adding captions because they are absolutely essential for watch time on most platforms today. Third on my list was adding a quick key takeaway overlay to 1 or 2 of the clips. If you write engaging headlines, you know exactly why this works. It signals the value instantly. For video, this looks like a bold one-line card in those opening seconds or a pinned text callout. That single small edit alone made some clips perform much better than the others. Viewers instantly knew the educational value right away, which keeps them engaged. Fourth, I dedicated time to polishing the actual personality within the clips. This is where many creators completely miss the entire point of using AI tools. The AI should simply speed up your heavy lifting, not totally replace your unique voice. I reworded the opening line on a couple of clips to feel less scripted. I also added a tiny laugh or a quick human aside to the narration. I made sure my calls to action still sounded completely authentic to me. Those small human touches make a huge difference in viewer retention rates. The AI provides the necessary raw muscle, but you are the one who must provide the creative soul. Fifth, and perhaps most importantly, we have to talk about the final step, scheduling. This is truly where the Vizard platform absolutely shined brightest for my workflow. Instead of downloading a massive pile of MP4 files, I stopped the manual upload process entirely. I utilized the built-in auto-schedule and the integrated content calendar features. I just set the desired posting frequency and picked the ideal time windows for each platform. Then I let the system automatically drip out the prepared clips according to that plan. The AI even offered specific suggestions on which clip length suited TikTok versus Shorts versus Reels best. This intelligent suggestion based on hook strength saved me numerous hours every single week. Within 5 days of publishing that initial long-form episode, several shorts hit really strong engagement numbers. One specific clip really started catching momentum on both TikTok and YouTube Shorts simultaneously. This momentum drove a huge wave of new viewers right back to the original, full episode. That feeling was very similar to landing a featured snippet on Google, but better. On social platforms, you don't just sit at the top forever. You are actively gaining velocity and real follower growth. Now, I need to be very clear about one thing. I did not just let the AI run completely wild. I certainly used Vizard's suggestions as a powerful starting point, but I intervened strategically. I personally checked transcripts for small errors and tightened up the punchlines myself. I also ensured the chosen thumbnails and text overlays were as compelling as possible. You will still want to invest about 15 to 30 minutes per batch to ensure the clips aren't generic. That relatively small time investment massively multiplied my overall content reach. This was far better than trying to do every single edit manually from scratch. I also compared Vizard against other options I've relied on in the past. This included hand editing in Premiere or Final Cut, which is highly precise. I looked at some popular desktop auto editors and several simple online services too. So what were the downsides of those other methods? Manual editing gives you precision, but it is incredibly slow and expensive long-term for volume. Many other auto editors either gave me bland clips or charged a high fee for single export. And often, scheduling those clips out consistently required yet another separate third-party tool. Vizard's combination of smart auto editing plus built-in scheduling made it practical for volume. If you are a creator who needs high output without sacrificing your unique voice, that combination is everything. Here are a few practical tips I learned throughout this entire experiment. Rule number 1, always prioritize your hooks because if you don't grab them in the first few seconds, the clip dies. Use big text overlays or quick, sharp jump cuts to establish momentum immediately. Second, always add captions and make sure that one-line takeaway is visible. Remember, people are scrolling with their sound completely off most of the time. Third, utilize that content calendar feature and never post everything all at once. Staggering your clips lets you test different posting times and see what really resonates. Fourth, please do not over-optimize every single millisecond of footage. The AI suggestions are directionally correct, so focus your limited time on the highest impact edits. When comparing tools, always look at the entire workflow, not just the editing component. Some tools nail the trimming but leave you completely stranded when it comes to captions or scheduling. You do not want an export pipeline that forces you to become a full-time project manager for every short. A quick word on pricing and fit. Some other tools are great for professional studios but are very expensive. These studio tools are often built for very high-touch, manual editing workflows. Other tools are cheaper, but they typically restrict how many exports you get or leave a watermark on your video. Vizard sits right in the practical middle ground for creators aiming for scale. Its auto-schedule and content calendar genuinely make consistency so much easier to maintain. If you need a world-class color grading suite, Vizard isn't trying to replace your primary editor. It is specifically designed to be the essential tool for converting your long videos into consistent short hits. Finally, remember to always think entirely from the viewer's perspective. Is each clip answering a clear question or teaching a simple, clean process? Is the core takeaway instantly obvious in the very first beat of the video? If the answer is yes to those things, the platforms are much more likely to share and push your content forward. That logic is exactly the same as writing a perfect featured snippet for a Google search result. You are simply giving the audience exactly what they want, delivered to them extremely fast. So yes, if you cared about turning one piece of content into a constant stream of discoverable shorts, use AI. It dramatically sped up my entire content creation process for the better. The tool helped me select the absolute right moments and allowed seamless scheduling. The resulting output felt truly authentic because I always layered my own voice and micro edits back in. The most important payoff was achieving consistent reach across platforms within just a few days. If you appreciated this overall breakdown, I have another walkthrough video ready for you. That next video shows exactly how I structure those hooks and the key takeaway overlays inside Vizard itself. It goes much deeper into the settings for captions and the advanced scheduling configuration. Check that video out next if you want the absolute granular step-by-step instructions. Trust me when I say this, once you master chopping one episode into a week's worth of clips, your calendar changes. Your content calendar will feel a lot less stressful and significantly less scary overall.